Good afternoon, everyone. I have to say that absolutely no Photoshop or editing was done on the picture of this truly wonderful, beautiful human being that is behind my right shoulder. And I want to thank the team immensely for ensuring that I am the best me with the best picture. And if we can get several shots of it for my collection, that would be very much appreciated. This is nearly as good as Sunderland hopefully getting promotion at the end of the season and getting out of League One. So I'd promised Paul that I would not stray from my notes, and I've already broken that promise, but honest Paul, I'll stick to them from this point onwards. Welcome, and welcome to the city of smart, and I deliberately mean that because we're making a statement with that word today. It's an unprecedented event to celebrate an unprecedented partnership. This afternoon, you'll be hearing all about a major milestone for the digital development of our city. And this development is testament to our strategy of thinking differently as we look to build on our already considerable smart city successes. It's wonderful to see so many people here who have been on the smart city journey with us since the beginning. And of course, those who have joined us along the way as we've gathered momentum. We are confident that our consultative approach to this journey has enabled us to deliver a solution that is fit for purpose for all of you now and into the future. After all, it will be your ongoing commitment to smart thinking which will power the future benefits of our investment so far. We're here today to introduce you to an exciting new, globally innovative partner who we believe will augment our smart city development. And you can see that we've got London Village there behind me and a small trading port somewhere out in the Southeast Asian Pacific of Hong Kong. Their track record speaks for themselves globally with what they've done. In the spirit of partnership that we fostered, we wanted you here today to be the first to hear our announcement, to be able to hear from and spend time with our new partner, and to share in the optimism we feel for this giant step forward. Today, you'll be hearing from a range of key people who have powered this project onwards and enabled this strategic partnership to become a reality. And you can see those people in black and white with not as good photographs as I had. Thank you very much, team, behind me. But of course, there are also many people in the room who have worked incredibly hard and brought their expertise to bear to contribute to this success. And I'd like to thank our team with Sunderland City Council, led by Liz St. Louis, for their work on this initiative and by creating what I believe will be an event to remember. Just before I hand over to the Chief Exec, Patrick Mellier, because the boss never gets thanks, he always ensures his team gets thanks, Patrick has played an absolute blinder in this area as the Chief Executive Officer for Sunderland, and I would like to thank him as the leader of the council for that, so he gets at least one pat on the back, and it is absolutely merited. So he has recently been appointed to the UK 5G Advisory Board, no less, to get proceedings underway. So over to you, Chief Executive Patrick Mellier, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you for that.
Cheers, mate.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Graham, for those kind words. Really appreciative. Welcome, partners, friends, here today at Sunderland. Great to see the sun shining as well, so fantastic. If you think back to 600 AD, Sunderland, through Benedict Biscop, was a leading world city for innovation. In creating and bringing to life a monastery, he brought the best stonemasons. He went to Rome for the best choir masters. We led the world on stained glass windows. Sunderland led the world on innovation in shipbuilding and coal mining. Joseph Swan, who invented the light bulb, was born just on the other side of the river behind me. That innovation is with us today when we look at Nissan and the automotive sector. The Nissan Leaf being the world's biggest selling EV, the first ever gigaplant in Europe was built here in Sunderland 9 years ago, and earlier this year we announced a further £1 billion investment in the next generation of battery and EV production. Innovation is in the DNA of the city, and it is the foundation of this announcement today. Sunderland is a city of excellence. In the public sector, I can point to outstanding adult and social care provision. In education, we have amazing schools, a college and a university. Our hospital leads the world in being paperless at the point of care. In business, be it making batteries in cars, or in the tech world, online gaming, financial services, or the travel sector. When we truly go for it and believe in ourselves, we are excellent. As a city, we also understand the importance of partnerships. They're crucial to delivering innovation and excellence. In the words of our city plan, we will be a connected city. Connectivity is not just about digital connectivity or transport connectivity. It's about person to person, team to team, organisation to organisations, public, private, voluntary, and community organisations are essential to the foundation of this city's success. Our launch today is about the creation of a new partnership. Importantly, the success of this partnership is dependent on the engagement with all partners in the city, everyone in this room and beyond. This engagement will enable further innovation and the delivery of excellence in all we do. We engaged with over 30 of the city's leaders in a 2-day workshop in 2019, creating the Sunderland Smart City Vision. Many of those partners are represented here today. From that point onwards, we have chosen to engage with many of you in order to create a well-informed and ambitious digital strategy to ensure that what we as a council, in partnership with everyone here, deliver what the city actually needs. Our 2030 city plan remains our guiding aim, and our wish to be a truly connected international city with opportunities for all by then remains firmly on track. In fact, we've delivered on our words with actions, and here are just a few of them. We've upgraded digital infrastructure and rolled out free ultra-fast public Wi-Fi with download speeds surpassing other 5G cities. We've upgraded digital infrastructures, attracting over £75 million in gigabit fibre connectivity into the city, covering over 95% of premises, and brought in over £9 million of government funding to progress our wireless and 5G ambitions. We facilitated ultra-fast connectivity for social housing tower blocks in the city. We now have assistive technologies in over 1,800 properties, showing just how fast this programme is accelerating. As many of you already know, as a measure of our achievements in 2020, we were awarded UK Smart City of the Year. The magnitude of this achievement against a considerable field should not be underestimated. But this is only the beginning. It's been a great start and has given us invaluable insights and learnings. But we now need to scale it massively for the benefit of all. And that's what we're here to describe today. Our ambition is to reach and improve the life of every person in Sunderland through the use of innovative digital technology. We intend to transform education and healthcare across the city, revolutionise smart manufacturing, create the global standard for smart living, turbocharge enterprise, and deliver excellence in having fun and delighting in new experiences. The breadth and impact on people within the city and beyond will be profound, with no one person left behind, We will use technological connectivity to improve the city and people's lives. Where there are currently digital gaps, we will infill with the best and most appropriate solution. And where we are already doing well, we will enhance and improve. Our track record supports this. As no doubt you noticed on your way in, this once derelict site is now alive with building activity. We have enabled over £350 million of investment, and this value is increasing rapidly. It's a new start for the city and its city centre, envisioned by the council, but made real through our ability to partner with absolute experts at the appropriate times. And today, this is one of those times where we found the right partner to help us put in place the next generation 5G infrastructure across the city. This new partner will help us turbocharge the city to be a global exemplar. But rather than me revealing our partners, we thought it best to create a film. So sit back, watch, and enjoy. Sunderland's heritage is built on innovation. We are a global city.
We're good at creating. We have challenges that we need to solve. We have opportunities that we need to realise as a city.
A smart city is one that impacts on your life in a way that adds value. It's something that impacts on your health, it's something that impacts on your education, something that impacts on how you move around the city, and it should also be something that really enables you to have fun.
One of the great characteristics of Sunderland as a place is that the partners work incredibly well together.
The health sectors, the education sectors, the business sectors, it's everybody that makes this city tick.
What we're trying to create is a network of networks that will have that real positive impact on our communities.
Digital poverty has been a huge problem for this city. There are still many people who don't have access to Wi-Fi.
The digital divide has got wider. It's a significant issue for many cities.
Digital infrastructure is driven by the marketplace. If we leave it to the marketplace, there'll be bits of our communities left out. If you really want to make a difference to everyone's life, you have to take that digital infrastructure to every house, and that's what we're doing.
Many of the jobs of the future haven't even been invented yet. We need people who are really skilled in using IT and digital and all the possibilities that that comes with. Our children now are getting those skills which we wouldn't have been able to do before.
The smart city gives us the chance to create the 5G campus. And we think we will be amongst the first universities in the country to have that facility that will enable us to be more attractive to prospective students. But also it's really important for the research that we do here. We are central to the ambition to ensure that this is a great place to work, study and live.
As a manufacturing region, nobody does it better than the northeast of England. The automotive sector is one of the key sectors across the city region. There's a huge opportunity in terms of improving operational efficiency. We're in a very good position to benefit from industrial digitalisation, and a key enabler to that is undoubtedly the 5G infrastructure. One of the projects that we've currently got is a autonomous logistics pilot, automating a 40-ton truck. 5G has been the key enabler of that.
This project, because it will have an economic impact, will also have an impact on people's health and on people's well-being. We've done a lot of work this last few years putting assistive technology into homes.
A project like this has a huge impact on somebody's life. The problem being, how do we support people with disabilities to live safe, independent, fulfilled lives and actually having the same opportunities as everybody else? One of the things that people really need is just to know that they're connected. So whether that's, a device that's going to connect them to their family, to their loved ones, or to a more formal service, the technology is the connector.
We've started to make a real transformational difference. We've really driven forward in terms of fibre connectivity in the city. We have now a free, ultra-fast 5G-ready network in the city. We were successful in the accolade of Smart City of the Year 2020. And just a few weeks ago, we were successful in being crowned Digital Council of the Year at the Connected Britain Awards. We cannot realise the ambition that we have on our own.
It's really great to announce that BAI are going to be the partner in Sunderland to enable us to create that network of networks.
This is a very special partnership that BAI and Sunderland are entering into for the next 20 years. When we discovered what actually Sunderland was setting out to achieve, it became very, very obvious as to what our role could be within that.
It's a real game changer for the city.
They want to be a true partner to work with us through this journey to create something that will help us become an absolute global centre of excellence in this space.
Those that know of BAI will know that we're very relevant in some major cities around the world, such as Sydney, Hong Kong, New York, Toronto, and actually more recently London. Next stop, Sunderland. We see this as being the showcase for other cities to actually look in on. And Sunderland will be the envy of other cities, there's no doubt about that.
We will be watched around the world. This is setting the city up for the future because it will have an economic impact. It will become a much more prosperous city where everyone in our city has access to great education, great health, great transport, and actually will live healthier lives for longer.
It means we are more competitive. It will enable us to secure the future of this automotive sector going forward.
Sunderland will be a truly super connected city. From Washington to Horton, it brings everybody into this.
It's opening up just a whole world of opportunities for the future.
It's not about tech for tech's sake, it's about the difference that we can make to people's lives. It's about that true innovation, those data and digital solutions that will really help to drive this city forward. It will make Sunderland a great place to live, to work and to play.
Great job, team. BAI Communications is the world's leading neutral host providers of 5G and connected infrastructure. They have unrivaled expertise in providing high capacity, high availability, multi-use communications networks, making them the ideal partner for building smart communities. As you've seen, they do it in London, Hong Kong, Toronto, Sydney, New York, and now Sunderland. This means the provision of the right connectivity mix for Sunderland, the right technology for the right outcome. It's a massive boost for every resident and business in the city and will delight all visitors. Because of the breadth of ambition of this project, where no one and nowhere is left behind, we believe that this is a first-of-its-kind partnership. I certainly believe that this is the pivotal step to catapult Sunderland onwards with its ambition to be an exemplar of what a global smart city actually is. This ambition will be realised with the creativity of you in this room and your willingness to engage with, leverage and benefit from the infrastructure that ourselves and BAI are putting in place. It needs all of our innovation, working in partnership, leaving no one and nowhere left behind to deliver Sunderland, our excellent smart city. You'll shortly be hearing from Kathy, Paul and Emma, who will be describing some of the positive enhancements that this innovative approach to technology is making already in the areas of health, education and manufacturing. But first, I've got great pleasure. I really want to give a warm welcome to our new partners, BAI Communications, and I introduce you to their CEO, Billy Darcy.
Wow, I mean, that video really makes me feel very proud when I see it. It sort of puts a tingle down my spine, actually. But in real sense, we absolutely are looking to deliver against the ambition, but also the commitments that we've made. So look, good afternoon, everybody, and we really are delighted to be here joining you in what is a truly iconic venue. The building looks amazing. I was here a few weeks ago. It felt it was still under construction. It feels like it's been here quite a while now, and it looks fantastic. I'd also say there that, I use the word ambition. You look at the size of this screen. I mean, it's one of the largest TVs I've ever seen, right? I said to Patrick earlier, I'd love to watch a rugby match on that. Of course, it has to be between Ireland and England, right? But it really is huge. And of course, seeing yourself 3 meters high is a bit daunting as well on screen. But and actually, it's the scale of the ambition actually that drew us to want to build a strategic partnership here in this region, and with the City Council. It was very evident to me early on, but the vision, the ambition, and the sheer energy actually came through in heaps. We want to achieve great things for the city, and the city wants to achieve those things alongside us. So we work client-side, and it's very, very important there that partnership is structured in such a way. It matches our own passion for doing things through, and good things through technology in some of the major places that you've seen around the world. And when you've got a meeting of minds in that respect, that really does lead to the makings of a truly great partnership. Our own ambitions have seen us designing, building, operating, maintaining, funding, and very much innovating major infrastructure around the world. You've seen this iconic cities like Sydney, Hong Kong, New York, Toronto, London, and Sunderland. I mean, these are very exciting places to live and to work and to visit, and actually to attract talent and resources. When I joined BAI, I thought, wow, what a great place to work. And actually, I wouldn't mind working in any of those places. And I actually am ending up visiting Sunderland quite often these days. But we have a very big track record, I guess, in delivery and engineering expertise, and we absolutely plan to bring that to bear in Sunderland. So look, I've absolutely no doubt that Sunderland's vision and its passion and the great steps it's already taken to bring digital opportunities to the city, brought together in partnership with our own expertise and that delivery track record, that even greater things at great scale are going to happen for this very, very, very proud part of the UK. In London, as referenced there, we're setting out to build the most advanced network of its type anywhere in the world. And we say that with great confidence, actually, because we built the most advanced network in the world, and that's often referred to as Hong Kong. But actually, I want to go one step further for Sunderland, right? And that's actually creating and building the most advanced city in the world, okay? So from that point of view, when we make a bold statement like that, we stand over it, and we're truly committed. We like long-term, we're long-term partners as such. We're owned by the Canadian Pension Plan and Investment Board. They think long-term, and from that point of view, they're fully behind us. In fact, Patrick and Liz met the entire board of our organisation there only recently. So in terms of making an advanced smart city, and why is it important for the future of any city? Many people will ask that question, and I think the best way to describe it would be as layers that build upon one another, and until ultimately you get a range of digital services that transform outcomes for different communities right across the city. Whether it's assisted living, which we'll hear more about shortly, for vulnerable people to support them in their homes, or better access to online teaching, to support the education of our children, or advanced industrial automation. Without the connectivity in place and the infrastructure we often refer to as the plumbing, which we ultimately deploy, you can only ever achieve isolated pockets of improvements across any city. Sunderland are very well advanced at this moment in time, which also is hugely helpful for our organisation. They're already on that journey, but today is all about being able to scale and to make sure, as Patrick says, nobody gets left behind. And ultimately to do more of the digital services to more people, more businesses, and actually more communities by partnering to build a unique foundation of connectivity from which we believe everything else grows. By getting this in place, we absolutely understand there that we're going to accelerate Sunderland's smart city ambition and the journey that they're on, and deliver more and more better outcomes for the residents, businesses, and visitors of Sunderland. So, how will all this happen, and how do we do this? Look, this is where, I've used the word experience. This is where BAI's expertise does come in and come to bear. We'll build the right kind of connectivity, using the right kind of technology, in the right place at the right time to deliver the outcomes that are needed. So the commitment to the city is not just as a network or a connectivity partner, but also as a technology and innovation partner. We're technology agnostic, and that's very important, because what that actually means is that we're not wedded to any one brand or technology, but we concentrate on the outcome. We start at the outcome. So what's required, and we work from there. To get started, we're going to be deploying a mix of networks that span 5G, Wi-Fi, and actually some specialist low-powered mobile networks that are particularly well suited to the likes of assisted living applications we've heard about earlier, and sensors and Internet of Things and so on. 5G in particular is important as it provides the speed, it provides the capacity, and actually fast response times right the way across a network that enables a raft of new innovation that simply just couldn't be done before, such as the autonomous logistics we heard about previously. It wouldn't have been possible. And look, these networks, they're going to create a new digital fabric for the city, upon which I guess the city's digital and business entrepreneurs can build for the future. And it is about the future, because we're talking 20 years plus here. It creates a portfolio of new digital services for the benefits of residents, for businesses and visitors, which you've heard repeated here. It'll be these services and the opportunity to create them that attract new business startups and increase investment. And spoke recently on an interview I did regarding Sunderland. Ultimately, it makes it really attractive for resources to want to be here. It was interesting, as I travelled here today, the taxi driver told me there that the university, I may be surprised about how many people come to study here and stay here. And actually, I think that's quite important, and I think that's going to only increase as a result of what we're actually looking to achieve here. So look, at the same time, it's about improving well-being, safety, and leisure for all of those that actually live here in this city. I know it's already been said, but I guess I too am determined that this partnership delivers for all. From Washington to Houghton Le Spring, yeah. From the city centre to Head in the Hole, right? From young to old, from social care to advanced manufacturing. It will only be an advanced smart city if it actually truly does deliver for all. Now, before I welcome our next speaker to the stage, Kathy Westgate, from Hudson Road Primary School, I'd like to finally just say and state there that the Sunderland Smart City journey is accelerating, and it's accelerating at pace. We're here, as I mentioned, very much for the long term. We're a committed partner for the city. We're delighted to be part of this next stage of the journey. We welcome your participation and join us, and together, really let's try our very best, because it takes all of us, to make Sunderland simply the best place to live, to work in, visit, and invest in. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Billy, and on behalf of myself and Hudson Road Primary School, can I say how delighted I am to have such an innovative and global partner on board. The vision is just enormous, isn't it? If I may, I'd like to tell you a little bit about our school and the achievements we've made with the benefits of the technology that we've embedded so far, and perhaps most importantly, my thoughts on where I think that technology can take us. In school, we have 282 children currently, there might be another by this afternoon, from a rich variety of cultural and socio-economic backgrounds, and speaking at the last count, 21 languages, all catered for by a really wonderful and dedicated staff team. It's a school in a part of the city that does have a considerable level of social deprivation, and it's not perhaps the first school that the council would consider for a really high-profile and critical pilot like the one that we've run. But this isn't just a story about education and a story about a school. It's actually a story about people, and I believe a council that genuinely means it when it says no one and nowhere left behind. Out of all of the schools in Sunderland to choose to work with, they chose us, and I'll be forever grateful for that opportunity. We're a school in an area suffering from what I would call digital poverty, where some of our children have never had access to the internet at home. And the council were really brave to offer it to us, but let me tell you, when they did, I bit their hands off. I know an opportunity when I see one. The council installed for us a much enhanced network, very different to what we had before, which increased our internet speeds from 13 megabytes to more than 650 megabytes. Now, in reality, I have no idea what that actually means, but I do know that it totally transformed our teaching and learning experience. I very much appreciate being the layperson invited along today to speak. I'm bringing that different perspective. And the really good thing about all of that is that we never, ever see the wheel of doom anymore. It's been quite a feature of our teaching. What I do know is that technology isn't a static entity. It's constantly improving and developing. And whilst we're really grateful for the technological hardware that we have, without access to that fast, constant, and reliable internet connectivity, we really can't use it to its full potential. And that technology has given our staff and children access to all of the content that our hardware allows. And I think that's the crucial thing, because children aren't static entities either. Our children expect us to be able to provide that window on the world that they desire. And we're now in a position to do that, whether it's the ease with which we can join live science talks, speak to authors, have live link-ups with schools in other countries. Our children are now in the swim of all of those opportunities with all the other digitally enabled children across the world. But we've gone beyond delivering for our children now. We've decided to open up our great Wi-Fi to the local community as well, to use our school and surrounding hotspots to live a more digitally enabled life. And this is an example, really, of how that technology connects us and not divides us. I think most importantly, it's enabled us to raise our game, as we've so long desired to serve the needs of the children in our school community. And we're now providing a safe, digital and stimulating environment for the children so that they can be part of that global dialogue on how we'll all live and work in the future. Because the jobs of the future are not yet invented. Who knows what skills children are going to need? I think this partnership that you're learning about today is providing the means of access for all of you here to accelerate Sunderland towards being that true exemplar of a global smart city. And I hope you grasp the opportunity as we have at Hudson Road. Thank you. I'm now going to hand over to Paul Butler from North East Automotive Alliance. I had to read that carefully to make sure I got it right.
Thank you, Cathy, and thank you to Patrick and the team for allowing me to be part of this momentous occasion today. The automotive sector has a continual drive for operational excellence, and that's been the backbone of our success. This continual drive enables our region to remain competitive and will play a crucial role in our ability to win future new business. 5G CAL, or Connected Autonomous Logistics, has grown out of Nissan's continual drive for operational excellence. And automated logistics has been a key focus of that activity since 2007, from indoor AGVs and deploying those across the plant to outdoor AGVs, and now to looking at automating a 40-ton truck from near-side suppliers. Developing these technologies and establishing a test bed will provide a competitive advantage to Nissan that will be difficult for others to replicate. Automating a 40-ton truck takes connected autonomous mobility to a new level. Unlike most other CAM scenarios, to be commercially viable, we need to remove the safety driver from the vehicle, and 5G is essential to enable us to do that. It will allow a remote driver to take control of the vehicle should that vehicle encounter any abnormal conditions. As part of that, we've a number of key work streams, and they are focused around 5G, they're focused around 5G infrastructure, around the connected autonomous system itself, the teleoperation system. That will be developed on an autonomous mule before it's then rolled out and scaled up onto a 40-ton truck. And obviously, because we're doing this in a live manufacturing environment, telecoms and cybersecurity is extremely important for us in this. The CAM sector recognises that autonomous logistics in controlled environments is really the first commercially viable opportunity for CAM technologies, and the scale of the opportunity is huge. For our proof of concept, we've selected a very simple trial route. This route normally has 13 HEVs doing approximately 100 deliveries a day. We're looking to automate just one of those vehicles, and we'll look at how we can demonstrate both teleoperation and autonomous reverse parking as part of this scenario. For those interested in the 5G aspect, we're using an Ofcom shared access spectrum, N77, and we've used North, an Internet of Things service provider and solution provider, they partnered with Nokia to develop a standalone 5G private network using the Nokia Digital Automation Cloud, or NDAC. As stated previously, 5G is essential for teleoperations, and we couldn't simply do this project without 5G. The low latency 5G offers, we've noted it's recorded over 7 times quicker than standard 4G. Development of an autonomous software will initially be done using a Nissan NV200 test mule before scaling that onto the Terberg unit itself, as you can see on the screen. This will allow the autonomous software and teleoperations to be developed in parallel with the Terberg vehicle conversion. We're also looking to use vehicle-in-the-loop simulation, which will allow us to speed up the development and verify the autonomous software performance along the live route selected. A key driver of this project is undoubtedly looking to reduce costs, to improve performance, and ultimately deliver increased competitiveness. And as stated previously, the USP is looking to remove the safety driver from the vehicle. Developing a functional teleoperation safety system will allow that removal of the safety driver and allow that driver to take control of the vehicle when needed. The potential deployment for this is huge. Since the start of the project, we've identified many other use cases looking at port-centric logistics, airports, rail ports, distribution centres, and other manufacturing scenarios similar to ours in the northeast. There's been an awful lot of interest in the teleoperation side. Most of those use cases I've just mentioned will have drivers where they're taking delivery alongside somewhere, waiting for that vehicle to be unloaded or loaded before then driving off again. There's a lot of inefficient use of driver time there. Using a teleoperation system, you could envisage a scenario where a driver would deliver a load alongside an aeroplane, leave that vehicle there, take control of another vehicle, and then do the delivery that's required. We could see that you could use one driver, in effect, for 10 that we do today. And we know there's hundreds of thousands of journeys taking place across the UK in these controlled environments. And as I say, 5G is an essential component in that teleoperation. And if scaled, we could see this playing a key role in solving the current driver shortages. The phased build-up of testing and trials will see us move from the test track initially to a selection of live routes before we do the full proof of concept, delivering the goods between Vantec and Nissan. This proof of concept will assess how effective the combination of autonomous and teleoperations is in reducing the number of drivers when we scale the solution. But this project is just the start. The 5G CALD project is phase one of a multi-phased approach to establishing a global centre of excellence for connected autonomous logistics. Phase two could see us expand the number of vehicles on the existing trial route, looking at replacing all 13, looking at more complex routes where the vehicle itself will interact with roads, with bridges, traffic lights, security gates, roundabouts, etc. And also then looking at port-centric logistics, where we could select a simple route, but it's not using the traditional road infrastructure. It's wide expanses of concrete where vehicles can come from a number of different directions. So actually, they're all different technology challenges that we need to address as we move towards getting autonomous logistics on the road. So this trial will look at helping us move and accelerate the TRL levels to full deployment on public roads. Phase 3 would see us establish a test bed. Phase 4 would then look to expand onto near-side suppliers who have some public road access before expanding to larger routes that we can see on the screen here. Ultimately, as a consortia, our goal is to establish a global centre of excellence for connected autonomous logistics, and 5G is an absolute key essential component of that. Thank you. I'm pleased now to invite Emma Anderson onto the stage to speak about Smart City Initiative is impacting the areas of care and support in Sunderland. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul, and hello everyone. My name is Emma Anderson and I have 2 roles in Sunderland. I'm Deputy Chief Operating Officer for Sunderland Care and Support, and I'm the Head of Therapies for Sunderland City Council. Both of my roles have one thing in common. They're driven by a desire to improve the quality of life for people with disabilities and long-term illness across Sunderland. Some of these people and their loved ones have been dealing with disabilities for their entire life. Others have had their lives shaken by serious illness and find themselves in need of support they never imagined needing. No 2 people are the same, and no 2 people have the same needs. We think about the whole person, their physical and mental needs, and our approach is always to provide just the right amount of support to enable people to live more fulfilling lives. We are constantly assessing what we can do with the resources available to us. And of course, we're also thinking about what we could do given improved and new resources. Our involvement with this Smart City initiative has given us the opportunity to really show what can be achieved with the right blend of human and technological expertise. We call it technology-enabled care, and it's very important that I stress the word care. Our work is all about the human, and we believe that technology enables us to better care for our customers. We believe that we're ahead of the curve when it comes to developing innovative care products. Over the past 2 years, we've imagined, devised, and delivered a range of new products into our work. Much of this has been focused on embedding technology in the home environment to help protect our customers and help us understand what they need and when. From very simple things like motion sensors, remote-activated window blinds, tablets with a direct link to care and support, medication dispensers, falls monitors, and apps designed to enhance specific aspects of people's lives, tackling isolation or promoting learning about health and illness. We are able to introduce just the right blend of technology for a particular person's need, but also to monitor the way that they use the technology. This type of benevolent data harvesting is the real magic in all of this. It gives us invaluable insights into the needs that people have and provides us with the opportunity to anticipate situations, to enhance experiences or avoid pitfalls. This is not merely a sticking plaster for life improvement. It's actually emboldening our customers to expect the same opportunities as everyone else. For instance, Delilah, who at 8 years old began experiencing a sense of empowerment and independence by becoming able to control the environment in her own bedroom using a series of simple devices.
Delilah learned that her disability doesn't need to limit her life expectations of what she can achieve, and soon she began showing us how keen she was to learn to do more things independently, both inside and outside her home. Delilah and her family have often been our inspiration and told us that we need to learn to live in the world as Delilah experiences it. And now Delilah's expectation is that the technology will be there to help her achieve all of the aspirations she has for herself. We're providing connectivity at an individual and human scale, but we're also creating connections between individuals and the rest of the world. I truly believe that connectivity between individuals, families, carers, organisations, and the outside world is crucial to creating a care environment that functions optimally. It's easy to resort to platitudes, and here in the North East, we're experts at downplaying our successes. But I do feel that what we're doing here is groundbreaking and will create a blueprint for how technology-enabled care will make a huge impact on people's lives here and across the world. I'm delighted that we as a city have chosen to partner with BAI. As you've seen today, they're able to provide the rocket fuel we need to become the exemplar of a smart city that I trust we all want to be. Exciting times. Thank you, and I'd like to hand you over to Liz St. Louis from Sunderland City Council.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much, Emma, and thank you to all of our wonderful speakers for your time and commitment today. I'm sure you'll agree, without your amazing stories, we'd have nothing to showcase, and for that we're incredibly grateful. Those that know me know that I've lived and breathed Sunderland, our smart city, for the last 2.5 years, and today has been a wonderful opportunity to share with you all, our stakeholders, our partners, the success stories already taking place in Sunderland, and the optimism that we all have for our future. It's always been a priority of mine and of this project that no one and nowhere is left behind. And hopefully what you've seen this afternoon absolutely shows that it's living proof that with this initiative, we're successfully reaching all aspects of life within this city. It's my great privilege this afternoon to host our speakers panel. So without further ado, can I please welcome our speakers onto the stage. Thank you. Now, this is another first of its kind this afternoon because I've never hosted a speakers panel before. I'm usually sat over there. So if I start answering all of the questions, then please give me a nudge and move me on. We'd like you to all think of some really difficult and challenging questions this afternoon for our speakers. But to get everybody warmed up, I've got a couple of my own. So are we all ready? Yes. Excellent, excellent. So just to start us off, I'm sure our audience would be very keen to hear some personal perspectives on the benefits that the partnership will bring to the people of Sunderland. And for that particular question, may I please come to our leader, to Patrick and to Billy.
So who do you want to kick off first? That's me?
Yeah, go on.
How can I put this? I've lived in Sunderland for nearly 30 years, and to see the city marching forward to be the best city of its size in England, which has always been my goal for it to achieve what it's capable of achieving. And we're getting there, and to then see the work that's been done to bring BAI in to enable that technological leap into the dark, into the undiscovered country that's the future. I am delighted by it. It's such an impressive statement of intent for the city that we are not living in the past. We are not happy with what we have, and we will build for the residents of the city what we need going forward. And that will enable everybody to have the best ability that they've got to be the best person, the best business that they can be. So that's my view on it, Liz, and I'll let Patrick and Billy add to that. So thank you.
Thank you, Leader.
Yep, thanks, Liz. I can't articulate it better than some of the panel have already done in terms of impact on lives and real examples. But really interesting, yesterday the senior team and I would, or 2 days ago, we were down in Hetton and around the Hortonley Spring area. And sometimes they're the areas that don't have connectivity. So for me, one of the real aspects of what we're trying to do in terms of our smart city agenda is that no one and nowhere is left behind, and bringing Kathy's experience in her school to other parts of the city is going to be really important to deliver real educational excellence across the whole of the city, and I'm really looking forward to seeing that.
Thank you, Patrick. And Billy, may I come to you, please?
Yeah, thanks, Liz. I mean, look, the light bulb moment for me happened when I actually came up and visited when we were starting off on the journey on the procurement, which ultimately ended, thankfully, with a great and very positive result for BAI. But when I tell you I actually did 26,000 steps in one day, right, with Patrick and Liz, right? And at one stage I was thinking, do they actually want us to bid here, or not? But anyway, I'd welts on my feet, right? And I even got a size 15 set of boots from a health and safety point of view, PPE point of view, and I'm size 11, by the way, to walk up 6 floors to the top of the new building, which now has lifts. And I'm thinking, right, okay, this is an endurance test. However, right, when I actually saw, as we walked from that beachfront area near the Roker Hotel, all the way through the marina, the port area, I went to the glass factory with the football club, a university hospital. And then I looked out and I saw the span of the city itself in terms of from what we call an RF perspective. And I see Andy, our Director of Engineering and Solutions over there, is going to be core to the delivery of this. So RF being radio frequency. And I look at it and I go, wow, we can really make a fabulous impact here because all the elements are there, right? Sunderland is everything that a city should have. But actually what is missing is knitting it together in a way that technology can. Okay, to make it even much more attractive. Now, personally, I will be very disappointed as I look out over the next 5 years if actually, having listened to the speakers there, that we haven't made an impact as a business in terms of what's going to make a difference for their areas of true expertise and involvement. So that to me is absolutely core. And actually past the 5 years, because I said this is a 20-year partnership, past the 5 years, who knows what technologies are going to be there? But that's very important to note, what I said earlier. We're technology agnostic. Right? We concentrate on the outcomes. So we can bring any technology to bear, and we will have multiple partners to do so. And it's underwritten by BAI.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Billy. And now, please, if I could come to Kathy, to Paul, to Emma. So you're clearly leading the digital drive in your respective areas of expertise. And I'm sure that you've all picked up a few lessons and a few scars, no doubt, along the way. So what words of wisdom would you impart on your counterparts across the country looking at embarking on a similar digital journey? Kathy, can I come to you first, please?
Well, keeping my layperson hat on, I think the main thing is that no question is too stupid. Because I think when you start on something like this and it's completely new to you, as it was to me, you have to be really open to it. And if you don't know something, ask it. And you learn an awful lot along the way. But no question is too stupid. So I think it's find out, learn more about something. And I think the other little part of it, from my reflection, would be that never assume as well. I think sometimes with initiatives, it's very easy to have an initiative and drop it in somewhere and say that's what you need. Well, sometimes you actually have to stop and say, what actually does that community need? What's the thing that you need at the moment? And make sure you're delivering that. And that's what I liked about this initiative. It was, how can we help you? What can we do? And it listened to what we needed. So that would be my way going forward.
Super, Kathy, thank you. And Paul, the same question to you, please.
Well, where do we start with 5G Cal? The project that keeps giving for the partners who are involved in it. I guess the biggest tip we would give would be 5G Cal is looking at putting infrastructure in a live manufacturing environment over quite an expansive area. Our ambition at the outset was to look at doing that in one go, and I think we've learned that actually to break the project down into bite-sized chunks gives you the flexibility when you do come across problems, which you undoubtedly will. You're able to change the schedule around to accommodate those delays and actually still deliver the project on time and within scope.
Super, thank you very much, Paul. And Emma, over to you.
I think from our perspective, it's about opening up your mind to the possibilities. Don't try and fix them straight away. Look for the outcomes that you want, and then look to see how you can work with them. It's about learning from your partners. It's about listening to your customers. And when barriers come along, not being put off by those barriers, but working together to find the solutions.
Thank you, Emma. Thank you. Excellent. Well, a great start. I think we've warmed them up nicely. So over to our audience. I think we've got a couple of roving mics out there. So if anybody has a question, please do put up your hands. If you wouldn't mind just saying very quickly your name, where you're from, and then let's have a hear of your question and we'll direct it accordingly.
Hi there, I'm Richard Barrington from Perform Green, and my question is specifically for Kathy. We've heard great stories of vision and technology and all those things, which is wonderful. And you've obviously experienced some real benefits at a human scale. And the reason we do technology like this is to make a difference in people's lives, and that certainly is the ambition of Sunderland. Could you just think of one example, a child or a class or a family that have really benefited, just so that everybody in the room understands this isn't about 5G and Wi-Fi and all those things, it's about what it does for somebody's life.
On a really basic level, I think we forget that there are many families who don't have any access to the internet. They don't have it at all. So if I go back to during lockdown, we were able to help one particular family by making sure that their child had access to the technology that they needed. We couldn't always give them the internet access at home because they didn't live in quite the right hotspot yet. They live in a slightly different part of the city. But we made our school available so that family could come in and use our internet for all the things that they needed. All forms are digital now. You know, this family were all at sea, they didn't know where to turn. So even around lockdown and all the restrictions, we were able to get that family in if they needed something, let them use our Wi-Fi, give them the assistance they needed, and make sure that all the children in that family got access to at least hardware and software when they were in school as well. So it's really difficult sometimes to envisage that there are many people out there still who do not have access to Wi-Fi at all. And if you're a child in school now or a parent trying to do anything without Wi-Fi, you are really, really left behind now if you don't have access to the internet and the suitable machines to do things on. So it's basic and straightforward as that. Every little thing helps. Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much, Kathy, and thank you, Richard, for your question. Any other questions from the audience, please? Oh, don't be shy. Oh, got a couple coming here.
Good afternoon. My name is Charles. I'm with BAI Communications. Question is for Emma, if I may. Emma, we've heard about it's not for the sake of technology, it's about the outcomes. We've heard about the wonderful things that you're doing for your customers. If I could ask you, how have your staff, the people who are actually working and giving care, taken to this new era of digital and technology and what that can offer?
Really well, to sum it up. But I think, obviously we all come with a different skill set and a different experience of, interacting with technology. And we recognise that in the work that we've done, that not everybody's in the same place. But it's about working with people to help people feel confident and understand exactly what the technology can do for them. I think there was at times a concern that maybe when you're talking about technology-enabled care, are you removing the human element from that? And that's absolutely not the case. I think the more our teams have seen the benefits of technology and how actually what it does is connect people, maintain their safety, their confidence, keep them at home longer, people have really committed to that. They're really enthusiastic, and actually they come up with ideas constantly. Sometimes we can't keep up with the ideas, but I'm looking forward to working on that with you.
That's excellent, thank you.
Super, thank you very much, Emma and Charles. Thank you for your question. I think we had, let's go here, there, and then we'll go along the line.
Okay. Hi, it's Farouk Hakim from Oracle. It's fantastic. First of all, congratulations to everybody, and Patrick, this is a brilliant partnership. Sometimes the council, does get criticism about, lack of things and innovation, etc. So how are we going to actually get out there and make sure that everybody's involved and keep the momentum going and tell them about this partnership and the success they could make of the partnership? Because we need everybody to be innovative and our citizens. And really, this is a brilliant event today, but really it's got to carry on for a long time to get everybody energized, to get the best out of everybody.
Yeah. Super, thank you, Farouk. I think that question, actually, there'd probably be a response from our leader, from Billy and from Patrick. So, leader, would you like to go first?
I always like going first. The city's ambition is bigger than the city. Look at what we're saying we're going to do. Behind that, and it's a really good question, we must have our communications strategy in place so that we bring everyone. And we want them to come. We don't want to drag them. We don't want them to feel that they need to go there because they will get left out otherwise. What we have to do, and we've got partners here, they get it, the council gets it, is ensure that this message goes down to every individual so that they understand what we're doing. I mean, that message on the wall, no one and nowhere left behind, and that's the 25 wards in the city that make up the city of Sunderland. That's our ambition writ large about how we deliver, and we must ensure that people know what we're about, how they can engage, and then we work with them to ensure that everybody comes with us at the pace that we're working at. So that would be my answer to it. But the Chief Exec might add to that, and I'm sure Billy will have a BAI view that will work with it as well. Chief Exec?
Yeah, thanks, Farouk. I'm looking in the audience and the panel. We've got some champions here. So we've got 3 great champions here who will do and work with us in terms of Kathy, the education sector. I know Paul was already working in the automotive sector, and I know there's already been meetings this week with certain aspects of the automotive sector to start to bring this to life. Emma's doing it already in terms of health and social care and things. I'm looking at Natasha in the audience, and she, no doubt, in terms of the chamber, will be a real ambassador for us as well. So we will use all of our people and all of our partners in the city that will drive us down either sectors or across areas. We've got the voluntary community sector come together in a new alliance. We'll be talking to them around this. So I think for us, it's making sure we target certain sectors and get our champions on board. And then it's the general messages, as the leader said, but it's something we just have to get on and do. And have a real good communication strategy, and hopefully people like yourself who are well connected in the city will be part of our storytellers.
Thank you, Patrick and Billy.
Yeah, so look, one of the things that I don't think came out truly in what you heard earlier, but I'll explain it now, is, well, first of all, we're going to have an operational team on the ground here, and actually this is very much an operational strategic partnership for the next 20 years. So there's combined resources. But more importantly than that, one of the key items that I was very, very determined to actually put in place was a joint innovation board. And that joint innovation board is a mix of individuals from the council, from BAI, but actually stakeholders right the way across the length and breadth of Sunderland, key stakeholders. I mean, I went out to the Nissan plant to have a look around there, and when you see what they're doing out there and the impact that we can have, it would be remiss of us not to have some representation on that board for that. But what the Joint Innovation Board will do at any one time, it will concentrate on the outcomes that are going to make a difference, right, to Sunderland. But those differences, the solutions for those are going to ensure there that we bring in the ecosystem of partners to that, right, to that debate and to those solutions. So people don't get left out. We're not creating something that people don't want, right? And that's really important. So the Joint Innovation Board underpins the overall partnership.
Thank you. Thank you for your question, Farouk. Does that answer your query? Brilliant. And I think we had another hand here. Is that David?
Thanks. Hello. David Dunn, Chief Exec of Sunderland Software City. My question's about industry. So we've talked a lot about pushing boundaries on technology, a lot about partnership, but actually it's industry who will ultimately benefit from this alongside individuals. Why is industry getting involved in things like the CAL? I don't know whether Paul can talk about why do they really want to be involved? What benefit do they see? And how quickly do they want to see it?
It comes back to the fact that we are continually driving operational efficiency. So we need to understand what benefit 5G and the other wireless networks that we've talked about today brings to industry. We are a highly automated region from an automotive perspective. We have some of the best workforces in the world in terms of our output per employee. It's double what Europe is. So we've done people productivity, we've done the automation piece. The next big opportunity for the manufacturing sector is industrial digitalization. And there's lots of papers out there talking about the benefits, 30% productivity improvement and so on. So this undoubtedly is the key enabler for us to benefit from industrial digitalization. So we've got an opportunity in this region to actually take the lead for the UK around advanced manufacturing using 5G and digital technologies.
Super. Thank you very much, Paul. Okay, any other questions from our audience? Any more hands going up? Oh, we've got one here.
Hi, I'm Dan Fitzpatrick. I'm the new strategic lead for digital at Sunderland College. It's great to be here and to hear about the efforts of the last few years and the exciting vision for the future. I just want to say I completely agree with what you were saying before about how technology helps us to become more human, and especially in my experience from my sector, when our teachers and our educational staff can let the technology do, for want of a better term, the mundane things, then our students get more of the human being in front of them. So that excites me very much. And I guess I don't really have a question, but I just wanted to say that from the point of view of Sunderland College, I know we're making efforts with you guys and everyone in the room to build those connections so that I guess I see it as kind of two sides of the same coin. We want to provide the training environments for our students that are the best, so that they can train with the best technology. However, also, what are we providing as a service to the city and to industry in terms of the new skills that we're going to need? So you were saying before about what technology is going to be available in 5 years' time. Can we provide our students with the skills and the mindset and the agility to be able to adapt to what the city is going to need and the workforces that they're going to be in? So just to say that we want to continue driving those connections where possible.
Right. Well, thank you very much for that comment. Really powerful. And yes, we work extensively, of course, with Sunderland College and also Sunderland University, and some great work going on to equip the workforce of the future. And perhaps there is a bit of a question in there in terms of how are we going to equip our future workforce to embrace this new digital world? And Patrick, would you like to start that one for us?
I mean, it's a really important point. And I know just some of the work we've done just in terms of fibre, working with the college and our fibre providers to make sure we've got the skilled workforce to put fibre in the ground and to light it up and make it accessible. So that's really important. And actually just laying the infrastructure as we go forward for Wi-Fi, 5Gs and lower RAN and everything else needs skills in itself just to build the infrastructure, and that will go on, and we need to continue that. So there's a skill set about building the infrastructure. the skill set in terms of doing what Paul talks about in terms of digitising manufacturing will be very different and potentially a higher value job than we have now in the automotive sector. That will help raise the city as well. So we'll have to work with all providers, be that schools, college, university, for the different levels. And there's a whole piece, and I know David's over there, and we've talked around just data and what we do with the data. We're going to capture so much data from all these networks that we're building. And so what we do with that, how we learn from that, how we improve people's health because we have better data, how we improve education, just how we move about the city. The more sensors we have helping us do autonomous vehicles, the more data we have that can improve sustainability in the green agenda. And we will need data analysts, data scientists to do all of that as well. So for me, there's many aspects of the education side that if we don't plug into and work with, we'll fail. And so it's an exciting time, I think, for the education sector in Sunderland in terms of opportunities for young people coming from school, the work we do with college, and then the work we do with the university. I think we can really create some really new technologies and new industries for our young people to aspire to and really change the city and make it more prosperous.
Yes, thank you, Patrick. And Emma, perhaps I could come to you because I know you're doing some phenomenal work within your sector and particularly with Sunderland College and particularly around the intergenerational piece as well. So
we absolutely are, yeah. I mean, I think the pandemic actually was really interesting for us because it was an accelerator to the way in which we were, using digital. I'm an occupational therapist by trade, and we provide undergraduate education to occupational therapists from the university. We also care and provide care and support for older people. And during the pandemic, we recognised that, older people in care homes couldn't necessarily connect with each other. And also our undergraduates were struggling to get out into placement and to learn and to develop their skills. So we used technology actually to connect the two together so that older people in care homes could still have visits, but they were using the technology to do that. And also our undergraduate therapists were learning their skills in a different way, but actually the skills that they will need for the future. So I think we've utilised some really exciting pieces of work that have come to us in that way.
Super. Thank you very much, Emma. And Kathy, I know for you, and some of the footage was just phenomenal of those little children, starting their school life there. And you spoke about how important it is equipping, the workforce of the future. And you start right at the beginning. And what does that kind of mean for you in your environment?
Yeah, and I think that's so important that what we said, no one and nowhere left behind. I would like to think going forward through this project, already this has opened doors for us and somebody's actually offered us a whole load more hardware because we're involved in this project, which has just been brilliant. So if I can make sure that in our disadvantaged community that there's no digital divide, that all children have access to the technology that they need to do their homework, to the things they need to do in primary and secondary school, and that's going to be a huge achievement. But I think also going back to what we were saying about the college, I think there's something about schools in Sunderland and curriculum going forward that we need to embrace this as a sort of a special Sunderland additional skill, that we are embracing that through the curriculum that we teach our children, and that it's seen as something that's absolutely at the forefront of everything that education across Sunderland does. This is new and it's big, and it's going to give the children the skills of the future and the jobs of the future. And we need to make sure they're ready for college, for university, for the jobs that they need to do.
No, absolutely, Kathy, such a well-made point, and it is about raising aspirations at that earliest opportunity, isn't it? And as you say, letting our young people understand those pathways to viable careers in technology. Excellent, thank you. Okay, well, perhaps I could bring this speakers panel to a close then with one final question, if I may, for each one of our panel members. And that's really, I wonder if, from your own personal perspectives, could you please just describe for the audience, what does success look like for you? Roll the clock forward 5 years. What does success look like? Let's go to Emma first and we'll come this way along.
So I think success for me is about our customers and our residents being able to receive the right kind of care at the right time, in the right way, and the way that they want to be able to receive it, for them to be connected, and also for us to be delivering those services that we know are right to deliver, because we've used the intelligence that we have to tell us the services that people need.
Super, thank you, Emma. Paul?
A couple of things. Firstly, is we established this testbed for connected autonomous logistics here in the North East, which would be a UK first. but also that the manufacturing companies in the region have embraced digital technology and they're using the advantages of 5G, etc., to really push the region's performance, operational efficiency and competitiveness.
Excellent, thank you. Kathy, success for you.
I'm really ambitious. I want to end the digital divide. I just don't want any child, any family left behind. And if we can achieve that across the city, that would just be absolutely brilliant. But I think also it's making sure that, you know, going forward, everybody has got that pride in the city and that sense of a vision about something very distinct and very different. You know, whether they're born and bred in Sunderland, whether there's somebody who came here for work or came here for housing, that everybody feels part of that city and have that vision and that excitement about it. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Billy.
You've made my job very easy, by the way, all three of you, because actually for us success is being able to deliver upon what you've basically articulated there. But actually more importantly, for me success is where we've actually delivered on what we said we would do, and we've created a showcase here that others should be very envious of. Now that creates its own problems, of course, because it probably means that myself and Patrick will be very busy trying to help other cities, but you know, if that's the case, that's the case, because actually this goes beyond, I do believe, Sunderland. This is also UK PLC. You know, we're doing this for a reason. We're not just an organisation that wants to concentrate on major, what they call true global cities, right? But it's actually to make a real difference at community level, connecting people and communities.
Thank you. Patrick?
Yeah. Today we're talking about the beginning. 5 years' time, I want to talk about the stories. I want to be able to talk about impact on health, education, skills, prosperity in the city, the growth of jobs. So 5 years' time, I want to be talking about our success stories, and probably in 5 years talking about how we're going to use 6G and what difference that's going to make to our lives in terms of health, education, etc. But that's where we have to go. I always talk about getting better never stops, and this partnership is about that. We are helping our city to prosper and to grow, and getting better shouldn't stop. So that we'll have great stories in 5 years' time, but we want to be telling better stories in 10 years' time and 15 years' time.
Thank you. And last but not least, Leader.
Liz, you see the nicest things. Everything they just said. And Sunderland in the Premier League. No, serious. When you look at 5 years' time, and I was genuinely serious, everything that the panel has just said, because it will be a direction of travel that we'll be able to gauge where we are. But it will just be the end of the beginning in 5 years' time. Because this is, as Billy's pointed out, as we've said, this is a 20-year partnership ongoing. This is a new way, this is a paradigm shift in how we view, how we learn, how we live, and how we work. All of that is going to bring substantive change positively to the city, its residents, and its business community, and its educationalists. Right? I agree entirely with Kathy. No child gets left behind. It's as simple as that. And once again, quoting Kathy from when she spoke earlier, the jobs of the future haven't even been invented yet. And in 5 years' time, we might be starting to work out, what's that job title? So it's a massive opportunity for us. Let's take this as a moment to consider what this means for us going forward. And I look forward, as Patrick's just said, to looking at the successes that are in train, because it will be an ongoing process. And then what does that mean? Just don't mention 6G, please. We've had 2 years of getting this with 5G in 2019. And you're all, see, this is why he's the chief executive, because he's already looking at 6G. But genuinely, I'm very, very confident that we will be in a place in 5 years where people will see how the partnership with everybody is working and that we are improving lives.
Thank you, Leader. You couldn't end on a better note than that, improving lives, could you? Could I please ask you all to thank our speakers panel? Now, there's just one final thing now that stands between me and a glass of something sparkly, and that's our Chief Executive. Can I please welcome you back to the lectern to close the proceedings? Thank you.
Well, Liz, if that's your first time chairing the panel, well done. Great stuff. Just a big thank you to everyone. I hope you've all enjoyed what you've seen and heard this afternoon. I hope you all feel as proud as I do about the range of digital initiatives that are already underway in the city. I can't stress enough the uniqueness of this smart city journey we're on. It's something we can authentically be proud of, and we should think of ourselves quite justifiably as pioneers. We're following in the footsteps of Sunderland's rich history of innovators. For me personally, it's a watershed moment. So many elements I've considered to be essential to a city's success: working with expert partners, sharing ideas with residents and businesses, creating connections between people and place, and most importantly, creating just the right environment for success. These elements have come together to provide all of us here today with a huge opportunity to achieve real success. I trust that you will all grasp the opportunity we are working so hard to provide. I want to thank Kathy, Paul, and Emma for their wonderful insights into the human as well as economic benefits that digital technology is making to their lives. I need to say a really big thank you to the team that within the council led by Liz that's got us here today. There's Dawn and many others in the team, to Jonathan, Paul Wilson and others who've sat around the table working with Perform Green to advise us, to do the negotiations with Billy's team, and we got on really well together, but we agreed early doors that if there's something tough to discuss, we'll do it, and we'll be tough with each other, but we'll get out at the other end. And that's been a really true partnership working, so a really big thank you to Billy and his team as well to get us to this journey. So a really big thank you to all the teams that have got us here. A big thank you to Paul and Studio Blackburn and our comms and team for getting us all to this event today and making it such a splendid thing. So you all know who you are out there. A big thank you. There's too many to name. Jill and all your team, fantastic and well done. Got to make a special mention, Liz. You've driven the project. You've taken it forward with enthusiasm and belief. And we know you believe in what we're doing. We can feel it from you. So a really big well done and a big thank you. City owes you a lot. Billy, we've got some expectations. As a city, we know that you'll live up to them. I know that you and your team will help us make the dreams that we have for the city come through and really make them become a reality. Really looking forward to going on the journey with you and your team that are here today. Fantastic, and just a really big thank you. And just finally, thank you to all of you here today for coming along, committing time on top of everything. I know you've all got busy lives. We've all got busy lives. We've all got so much to do. But many of you have assisted on this journey to get to here today. Many of you have joined us today, and hopefully you'll come on that journey with us. So, it's actually, someone said earlier today, we've been 27 months in the making of getting this to here today, and we've got another 20 years to go. So, welcome to the ride, welcome to the journey. A big thank you to everyone, and please hang around for a while, talk. Not often that we're in a room together, so let's enjoy it, let's have fun, and a really big thank you.